Okay, Jeremy, if I can ask the first question, why do you think men are either underrepresented in churches today or pretty disengaged with church?
I think that's a big question. There's no one simple answer. I do believe that leadership in the church needs to be male, and I think there's been a feminization of the church in many ways, that a lot of the activities that we do are activities that impact women. But what I don't want to do is then say, oh, it's all women's fault or the way culture is going. I think bottom line is men are lazy, and I'd say that looking at my own life as well. Church demands discipline. Christianity is a hard road to follow, and men want to be cool, men want to fit in, and because of that, church seems the last place they want to go. So I think the church needs to look at it to bring a bit more masculinity into the church, but men need to look at their own hearts as well.
Now, Jeremy, do you have a men's ministry in your own church? And if so, what is it you do to encourage men?
Yes, well, we ran a ministry recently called Men at 6. It met at 6 o'clock in the morning for a Thursday morning. Now, that was a hard get-up, but it was being realistic that a lot of men work in the oil industry in Aberdeen, where I come from. They're at work by 7:30. Could we give them something, a spiritual input at the beginning of the day, that they can be men together? It also meant that we were able to ask some of the raw questions of each other that you can't often get away with in a mixed congregation church. Men like that. Men like to be spoken to directly. Men like to be challenged. And they want to have positive role models as well. And we just used DVDs. It was nothing clever. We had a DVD of a guy in America who had a men's ministry that he ran. We listened to those DVDs, then got together in small groups, and then from there had accountability relationships built. And that's been the key. Folks that started with that are now meeting and sharing accountability with each other. That's so key for men, to be in accountability relationship, to spur one another on towards godliness. So if men can keep that relationship, we're not as good on relationship as women are, but that's what keeps us going in our Christian life.
Can I ask you about today? What do you think is the benefit of having an event like the Commission today?
I think it's a great idea just for men to come together. Almost any excuse in the book to bring men together. Even hearing men sing, but be able to be themselves and talk with each other about issues that maybe they wouldn't talk about normally. I also think just in church life generally, there comes a time when we need to get away from our regular rhythm and routine, come away with maybe men that we don't know so well, and get rid of some of the baggage of background relationships we're very familiar with. And sometimes God can speak in a special way in those kind of scenarios. That's certainly our prayer for today. And I wish more of these events happened actually, so that men could hear specific man-based challenges for their lives. So,
I don't know if you have a Twitter account, Jeremy, but if you do, what would your message be on Twitter for men today?
Yes, I do have a Twitter account, and in fact, I think the church needs to become more and more alive to this kind of thing, Twitter and Facebook, because that's the city centre of our day now. That's, when Paul went to Athens, he would have used Facebook if Facebook was around in his day. But anyway, that's a side issue. My message to men would be, take responsibility. A lot of the role models that TV and media give us of men is the James Bond type, the Clint Eastwood type, come into a town, wipe the town out, show your physical prowess, and basically bed a lot of women if you can. Biblical view of that is totally different. It's a man who takes responsibility in his home, with his family, with his kids, and wants to be a leader in the home. There are too many women becoming leaders, not because they want to, but because the men aren't taking up their role. And to teach your children biblically, to get alongside them at night, not to leave that work to the mother. A father needs to be there raising godly children and setting an example for them and being a role model. So that's more than 50 words, but then I am a preacher, so you have that problem.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Take care.